Because that's how he spells his name. Oh my God, you made me go way back.
Kenyan played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, man, you breathe life into that character. And then for the first time, my brothers noticed.
Ooh.
I was in the papers. And that became the beginning of brand Jimmi Gathu.
Okay, so now you're in, tell me then about the transition as you're transitioning from high school.
Yeah.
Let's
Okay.
rewind. What year is this? And now
From
tell
high
me where
school,
you're going.
So I got to Form 4. I was
What,
in
same high school?
86.
You're in the same school?
Yeah.
You've only gone to one school your whole life?
Yeah. St. Jesus from St. Adwan to Form 4.
Yeah.
Couldn't go to Form 6 because in 86, I made a bad call. My sister, who still lives in Canada, akaniambia anataka niende Canada. Nimalizie. So which is what she did. My sister, when she finished from 4, Buddha alimsukuma Canada at the age of, she tells me, 16. So alimalizia huko. So she wanted to do the same with me. Oh, I didn't say so. I became my dad's favorite after my sister left because me and my sister were very tight. Although she's years older. So at that time, nika guzonile bag ya
Nenda maju.
Inaitwaje? Pentecostal. The church, who are saved. Everyone goes. I don't know who else doesn't. And actually, when I was in Form 3, I had gone back to being a smart guy in class. I was good at sciences. I was, Then something to ujana got into. It had positives and negatives. What introduced me to the life of believing and trusting in God, but also confused me in terms of the direction I was taking. And so I made a bad call, and I made a bad call. And so I missed my opportunity to go to high school.
So you said you're not going...
sistangu akajaribu, my mom, nikapigwa vita, hiyo vita ikuingia.
You say you're not going out to be in church?
Mimi nataka kufanya kazi ya Mungu. At 16 years of age.
So...
And actually, at age 17, I moved out of home. Here's the thing though.
So you wanted to be a pastor or what?
Yeah, so I wanted to be in full-time ministry. And here's the thing, ukweli wa mambo, what lured me into it is freedom, money. You make money, you're serving God, but the thing is just you're told money.
For real?
Yeah.
How are you going to make money?
So we're going to be hired, so you're going to be full-time ministers, full-time ministry. Full-time ministry means that unalipa mshahara.
Oh.
Kazi yako tu ni kuimba, kuandika ngoma na kuimbia Mungu.
What? So,
and then of course kuna figures zinatupwa. Oh, because kama sisi we work full-time ministry, we live in our own apartment. Unasikia hiyo? And you're young and impressionable.
So now you remember in ministry to do singing?
Yeah.
So, but this whole story, you've not talked about singing?
No.
This is the first time it's entering?
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, this is insane.
I started singing. Actually, I started rapping in 85. So you formed a group called the Jesus MCs. I think it was in 85. It was in 85.
Anyone else would know who is in it?
Charles Carrier of Catherine FM. Get on! So me, Charles Carrier, a guy who's now a pastor in the US called Cyrus Gikori.
Yeah.
A friend of ours called Victor Mulandi. I don't know, but Victor just disappeared. I haven't seen Victor. So we're the four of us.
Jesus is the way. He's the
yeah. JES. US, 1, 2, 3, 4, JESMC, something like that. It was crazy. We were, and in that journey, I met fantastic people. Carol Dongo went from school. I went to perform.
But
there.
That means you've left Catholic.
Yeah. So, oh my goodness, you're good. So, in 85, something again happened in our family that was the beginning of me questioning religion. And so when I was introduced to Pentecostal, can I say Pentecostalism, whatever? It was an easy fit because I had questions. Remember, my life was shaped by Catholicism. My life,
Yep. Not to be an altar boy.
yes, my life was shaped by Catholicism. Kabisa. And then at some point, I felt, no, there's more to this. There's more to this than what I'm seeing. And then something profound happened in our family around 85, and then I got into Pentecostal.
And where specifically? Bapo or not even?
No, not even Baptist. Nairobi Gospel Tabernacle. The late Charles Muya was our pastor. And my life changed from there. Another, and it's fraught with confusion, kila kitu, name it. And so, and the funny, my God works mysteriously. And so in 87, I moved out of home at age 17. Here's the thing. My mom asked me, is that what you want to do? And I was like, yes. My mom, remember, who I feared for years. And she said, okay, sawa, enda. I was like, wait. I said, go. My brother was like, ma, this, what's ende?
Where do you go?
So I moved in with my friend, one of the guys of the Jesus MCs.
But where?
To South B.
Uh-huh.
To South B. So, because we were told, and again.
But what, into his house or into a
No,
quarters?
into a service. So what happens?
Okay.
Remember, what? We'll be paid a salary. We'll live
the life.
Yeah. What? Didn't happen. But pride, what I could do, you made a mistake. So for a whole year, I lived with my pal in South B.
How are you making money?
So one of my talents, I was a fine artist, remember?
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. Let me tell you, it's important to know yourself. And if you're a father, you must prepare your kids for the world, because this world is not
rough.
Easy. It's rough. Has been for a while. Are you seeing now the gaps in terms of not having a father? My brothers didn't know any better, so they didn't mentor me. They didn't prepare me for the world. Okay?
Your brothers were not your father?
No, they were not. They were my brothers. And so I was so easily, impressionable. So somebody took advantage of my youth and my being impressioned, and there I was, fending for both ourselves, but him being comfortable. Because he knew, I'm not going to go back. So I'm going to toil for us. Now we see them.
Okay.
Just somebody who was older than I was. Don't worry, nothing sexual happened.
Yeah,
so
no,
you know what I mean?
But the guy...
And so, that's And then, in the same year, let me tell you, God kuambia kitu. Mazi Esther toka hapo. Toka hapo. Mazi. Lakini sasa nikienda home madhi is into enda tu. And so God revealed things about religion that confused me. Let me tell you. So I went to Mombasa to live with Tony, my brother, and his wife.
In this 17-year-old time?
Yeah.
Okay.
So my brother got married in that year. So in 87, then 88, I moved in with them because I was going crazy. And so a family doctor was a friend of my mom, because I started having nightmares. I just couldn't function properly. I was just, I was edgy and just couldn't remember things, So my mom took me to a doctor who said, your son is at the edge of losing it. So you need to get him out of this town because something is triggering it. And so I moved in with my brother Tony in Mombasa, in Matuka. So my mom allowed me to go, and a year later, after fasting for 31 days, and the message in every time I would have visions was go back home. Go back home. I went up, so we came out of the fast with my friend who even in that fasting did a thing, and I was like, I thought, anyway, clearly there are people who are born into religion and use religion to get their way around. So anyway, so when I went back home, so we went for a crusade, and Dennis White, the late Dennis White, was preaching. His message, go home. So I went back home. Typical prodigal son story. My mom opened the door, called out to I'm telling you, sikudanganyi, called out to my brother and said, because I was shaking. Also,
you're scared.
Remember, nime lose weight, sana kakaka mti. Of course, I'm scared. I'm thinking, I need to see my mom. I don't know what to expect, but I need to see my mom. She opens the door, looks at me. I'm freaking out, so I'm shaking. Calls my brother, tells him, kuja na blanketi. Typical prodigal son story. My brother comes to me, he's like, and then tells my brother, enda kwa duka, bunua kuku. She goes into the kitchen, starts preparing chapo.
No way.
I'm like, what? She's like, umekula? I'm like, bado. Kaa chini. Umeoga? I'm like, eh. I said, enda bafu, uoge tena. Boils water, I go to the bathroom. By the time I come, my mama sitengeza chapo and chicken. You guy ate, I slept. Can you imagine?
You got peace.
For the first time in a year, I slept. And I slept on her bed.
Yo.
It was crazy. This mom who was militant, who, when she was angry, would throw jiko ya makaa. Akimefanya hivyo. All of a sudden, I go there and she wow.
Dude,
That's
this
crazy.
is so deep.
And so I went to live with my mother in Mombasa and, you know, begin on a journey to recovery.
But also, you experienced relationship over religion.
Yes.
You see, you've talked about it.
Yes.
You, for the first time, you've said,
I'm like, guy,
it's like
right.
3 times God has proved to you that He's.
And God never stops, even at my age. Never stops teaching me. So I have this attitude now. I don't call problems problems. I call them opportunities. Because nothing happens by chance. God tells you about things. God tells you, wait, Esther, cameraman wako si mtu mpoa. God, tumetoana mbali. Mimi nakwambia uchade. Hivyo, I'm telling you, that's how God talks to you. Utaka kunisikia unakuonesha. Something happens, you're thinking, what? But this is my boy. Kwa nakwambia, yeah, your boy. Pia kwa nakwambia usikii. Wachana your story. And opens a gate for you. To this day. So, nothing phases me. Let me tell you, Esther, this adage, the worst never happens, is true. I've been in situations I never imagined I can chomoka. I'm like, Kwisha. And I've learned God does that to teach you a lesson. And when not to punish you.
Yes. To grow you.
Boom. Tunaenda hivi brother. Wacha we. Son, tunaenda hivi. Hii mani wacha na utalii. Tunaenda hivi. Okay, sawa nimesikia. Wacha kwenda hivyo. That's what God, that's how, so it started at that time.
It sounds like that year was hell, but ended with
prodigal son story.
Yeah. And actually, let a blanket.
Yeah.
That's deep.
Because I was shaking in fear. Because I knew this woman is going to atanipiga wengine, lakini sawa tu mimi ndakamuona.
Yo.
Can you imagine?
That's deep. Okay. So what happens now? But then this is a crazy thing. So that Canada opportunity missed, but also would have sent your life into a whole different trajectory.
I would not have been Jimmi Gathu.
Yes. If you jumped onto that plane and
Singekuwa Jimmi Gathu.
Yeah. You would not be seated here in this thing.
No. And my God, that's so many. So and so when I came back, I went to Poly, Kenya Poly, did 2 years in graphic arts.
What are you thinking? I mean, you're just like this. What?
No, so my mom
That means you are really good at drawing.
I am, even to this day. It's just I've never drawn before. I haven't done so in a long time, but I can still. When I get the time. When I get
Okay, let me just go back, Kidogo. You were saying that's what you did. That's how you were earning money.
Yeah, I used to do portraits, and I used to pay 250 shillings per portrait. That's how my friend and I survived. So I financed our living. I didn't tell you. I was also a messenger and a cleaner in a college called Avenue Secretariat. So here's the funny thing. So when I remove, guys, I meet people who don't remember me then, because obviously I didn't have a beard.
Yes.
And when I tell them who I am, they're like, no, the tea maker. Imagine. So I used to report to work at 5:30 in the morning. I cleaned the entire college from top to bottom. I tupa takataka huko nje, and then I come and I make tea for the teachers.
You had to do what you had to do.
Yeah.
You're a 17-year-old.
I was so good at it that after 6 months, the owner of the college akanilipa so 3, alilipa so 6, because nilikuwa nafanya kazi poa sana. But hiyo so 6 pia, the person I was sitting in for alikuwa amerudi. But for 6 months, I was a messenger and a cleaner and a tea maker. I was known as a tea maker. Can you imagine? Yeah. And I used to sing in church.
Okay, so that's where you started now.
That's where. Okay, so here's the thing. My music, my singing was a means to an end. Remember, even in church, I got in because of being a rapper. And then of course I'm like, I like drums and I love the drums. So I learned how to play drums. So I'm a drummer, I can play drums. And then after this whole debacle with religion, I stopped. So I went to live with my brother and his wife and his family. And their son. Do you know who their son is? Who I raised? So how can I put it? So I live with my brother. At some point I was like a houseboy. Don't worry, Tony, forgive you. It's okay. I don't take anything but yeah, it was. Yeah. And I raised his firstborn son was Michael Gathu, who you all know as Jimmi Gathu. That's my nephew. I raised him. And when I came back to Nairobi and I had a family, he came to live with me.
You guys, your life is a movie. Okay, so you come back
I raised him Jimmi Gathu when he was I used to carry him on my shoulders and take him to school in Matuga. And at midday, I go pick him up, have him washed, cooler.
So you come, man.
So all that happened.
No, I don't want to jump this poly thing. Again, uni is pivotal. When you join poly, you join from. Are you thinking, okay, career-wise? It's just let me just get back.
So at that time, graphic arts nilikuwa kusema, nilikuwa kitu, nilikuwa.
And the year around here, saini?
In 1990, 89.
Okay.
89 nimerudi
poly.
No, 89 nimerudi kutoka Matuga na nimeingia poly. Okay. Also 89, the music genres have changed. Sasa kuna R&B na New Jack Swing. Both.
Teddy Riley.
Oh my. To this day, I can tell you a song produced, written by Babyface or Teddy Riley. Ooh. I can tell you.
And this is for the cool.
So the music scene has changed. So I've come back from Mombasa, from Coast.
What kind of artists are of that time?
In Kenyan, none.
So creative, hold on, actually, Jimmy, umeleta swali poa. So 80s, there's all these bands. What happens to the creative industry or the music industry from
Kenya?
From this Moi time to 90?
None. Oh, there was Safari Sounds, the late
Bruce
Odhiambo, who are billionaires, because they used to travel across the world. And then the music was, they had their set. They're very wealthy. Jambo Bwana, yeah, exactly. There was them mushrooms. What am I saying? There was them mushrooms. Nyambura, I love you like fish.
John.
Yeah, Johnny Kalanda.
Katana.
Bishop. We're still pals to this day. Kabisa. Okay? Because I was like, okay, these are local guys and they're playing local instruments. They've got local equipment, drum machines, But for me, I was like, okay, I like it, but so I can see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So my interest in music
is not connected with what the guys.
Yeah.
There's a new Jack Kenyan.
They planted a seed. They planted a seed.
Okay.
I'm still struggling with my religion, myself, and so on, family, I'm still, but I'm beginning to have an ear. Okay, because now there's a show called Showtime. What's it called, Showtime? Was it Jimmi on now KBC? That's now featuring local artists. Akina, these guys from campus called what are they called? Fall in love, lost in love. They're from campus. What are they called? And then there was Bruce Odiambo. Stay a bit longer. Then there was Musically Speaking. Akina Gido Kiboko, Susan Kiboko, at that time Susan Kagashukia, Susan Matiba,
I've interviewed Susan
Joy Boya. I'm like, what? Things are happening. And then
actually, just let me ask you, but then is Musically Speaking the closest to this new Jack? Because it doesn't sound, they're not. They're all these African things. Yeah. From Heritage. What's that place called?
African Heritage. There's a band called African Heritage. Jakodongo. Gido Kiboko was also a member of African Heritage. The late, there's a drummer who taught Guido's son how to play drums. There are many guys. There's how am I forgetting their names? Big. Now, musicians in Kenya, you're also standing on giants. Because Kina Guido Kiboko, who are known globally.
From African Heritage
was known globally. Those guys were good. Then there was Musically Speaking, Kina Susan Kiboko, Joy Mboya, and so on. And then there was Bruce Odiambo. And then the Safari Sounds. It's just that the media then was not ready. The club scene, I didn't know the club scene then.
Oh, you're a church boy.
I was a church boy, remember? There was African Heritage where my brother took me once, but okay, yeah, it wasn't as packed as how it is packed now. It wasn't whoa, it was just a certain class of people who used to go there. So,
but it doesn't sound like you are getting your
I'm not there.
Your Kenyan version of this new Jack.
And that thing used to bore me. So New Jack started in 88, 89. The concert after the movie New Jack City. But Babyface has started producing. I think his first single he produced was, apart from The Deal, a band that he was in, there was The Whispers. Rock
Take
Steady.
6.
Rock Steady.
Oh.
That was the Babyface. That was Babyface's first. Yes,
Steady rocking.
That was produced by Babyface. Elaine Face. Yeah.
Elaine Reid.
So now I'm now how old? I'm 80. So now music is engaging me. So I come back to Kenya. I come back to Nairobi. And then we go for an audition at the National Theatre. I'm taken by Charles Carey.
Your boy.
My boy. I've known Charles since, I first met Charles Carey when I was in Standard 6. So 9? I've known Charles Carey since 1991.
Yeah.
So you go to the French Cultural Center, there's a guy auditioning, okay? It's supposed to be a musical. Then Charles tells me, so you go and audition. I'm like, me, I don't act. I don't like acting. I mean, I've never acted. He said, no, just go and do your thing. Just go and sing. I'm like, what can I say? As we were talking, the guy doing the audition says, anyone else want to sing, act? I'm like, so I went and I sang Alexander O'Neill. Yeah? Cloudy was that day. What? And I sang, oh, I got a part. So I'm like, what? I can't sing. But then I have never sung anywhere else apart from church.
No way.
Never. And even in church, my interest was the drums. Yeah, I could sing, yeah. But my interest was the drums. Then I go and I sing it. First of all, everyone kept quiet. I finished the whole auditorium at the National Theatre, the one across, Cultural Center. Goes crazy. And I'm thinking, what? Oh, okay. You go. From there, I started doing commercials.
No way, bro. You can't just jump from singing to people good. Wait.
Because I didn't become a musician.
No, but you got into the play.
So I got into the play. At this time, I'm beginning to feel this new Jack swing. So I got into the play. And then I'm approached. We are approached, see, with Charles Carey, we are approached by our theater mentor called Peter Mudamba. He says, you guys, I want to introduce you to a group that we are trying to rescue. We're like, what? Which group is this? Mbalamwezi. We're like, what? Who's that? So he gave us a story, but he's struggling and we're looking for fresh guys, new blood, because I think we need new blood. So me, Charles Carrier, we hooked up with my friend from church called Silas Kikori, and one George Mungai, and formed a band called Impulse.
Oh!
So here's the thing. Here's the funny thing about George Mungai and I. You know George Mungai?
Yes.
George.
I know of George Mungai.
Yeah, George Mungai. The first time I saw George Mungai was when I was in school. George was in Starehe, and every time I would take a bus to school or from school, I would know what time it is, because George always pitted that gate of Starehe at that time. That's it. The first time I spoke to George was now when I was at the poly. When I formed this band. I'm like, yo, I know you. I used to say,
You told me he wanted you to revive, what is that thing, Bo?
Impulse.
No. He wanted you to revive...
Mbalamwezi. This is Peter Mudamba.
Yes.
Peter Mudamba.
Tell me about, I don't understand. I don't know this Mbalamwezi thing.
Mbalamwezi still exists. Mbalamwezi Players is a theater group. So let me tell you what's happening. So by this time, theater is bubbling. Why? Because multipartism
is checking
in. And of course, so now I've gotten into the world of theater and I'm liking it. I'm thinking, what? This is freedom. You can, And then I'm also discovering that I can act
and sing.
So
you didn't just sing in that one performance. It
became a thing.
It became a thing.
Yeah.
So you're in poly and at the same time.
Exactly.
Okay.
So when I was doing this musical, this guy called Alberto Dongo, I meet Mbalamwezi and I'm casted for a play called She Ate the Female Cassava, written by Jimmi Gathu. Here's the thing. That was my first play. And I just come off watching Arnold Schwarzenegger. What's that movie called?
Rambo. No.
No, it was Rambo. Yes, I just come watching Rambo. And then I'm casted.
Stallone.
Yes. So I'm given this play called She Ate the Female Cassava. I look at the role. It kind of feels like Sylvester Stallone. And so I do this play. And for the first time, I appear in the papers.
Oh.
And then the writer called Jimmi Gathu tells me, young man, you brought life into a character that I wrote. From now on, never spell your name with a Y. From now on, you're Jimmi Gathu. So Jimmi. I was given by name by Jimmi Gathu, because that's how he spells his name. Oh my God, you made me go back.
Can you play?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, man, you breathe life into that character. And then for the first time, my brothers noticed.
Ooh.
I was in the papers. And that became the beginning of brand Jimmi Gathu.
Let's take a break right there. The beginning of brand Jimmi. So Jimm.
Oh, you have taken me. Yeah. So I used to spell my name Kawaida, Jimmy, with a Y.
Yeah.
So I was casted for this play by Mbalamwezi, that was being done by Mbalamwezi, by Peter Mudamba, who then started training me on how to do theater. And Ken Musumba, who was the artistic director. And I did that part so well. My brothers came to watch it. My family came to watch it. My brother, Tony, who I used to look up to in terms of...
And you didn't let that down.
Yeah. And that... Yes.
Let's take a break. Let's change some cards here. Tunarudi G.
Wow, you took me back.